Today on the Bandrew Says podcast, we'll be discussing YouTube embracing the hashtag, which makes all of us feel hashtag blessed. So go ahead and dick around or stick around or whatever it is you do. Let's start by discussing the news from YouTube that they are going to be embracing the hashtag. If you don't know how hashtags have been implemented on YouTube in the past, you've been able to add as many hashtags as you want in the video description, and the first 3 hashtags in your description will show up just underneath the video on YouTube. Right here in the video, I will have an overlay. Going forward, now you're able to click on the hashtags, and it will take you to a hashtag page and show you all the videos that share a similar hashtag or the same hashtag, not something just related, but the actual hashtag that you clicked on. And that is the end of that news story. That is the entire thing. That is what YouTube is doing. As far as whether or not this is good or bad, I think it's a mixed bag there. In terms of it being good, I think it could potentially be used for discoverability. If you're a newer channel to a niche, for example, if you're new to reviewing microphones, and I or Booth Junkie or Curtis Judd or Sound Speeds or Audio Hijack, that's a company, that's a program. Audio Hotline or Obscure Mics are using a specific hashtag. Now somebody new to the niche could go ahead and use that same hashtag and maybe get some discoverability there. But on the negative side, anybody can use any hashtag, and that could be abused. What if I have a very specific hashtag, people want to get the attention of people who watch my videos, they could use that hashtag, and then if somebody clicks on the hashtag on my video, they go and open it up and see a video that is harassing me or berating me or saying that I'm a stupid fat idiot. Any of those things. It's their right to do it. I don't know how this will work out long term. I think it will be abused. I think it could potentially have some good use in terms of discoverability, but we'll see how that plays out. As far as what you can do as a creator, I think you should go ahead and use this to your benefit. Go ahead and add a couple of hashtags at the very bottom of your description. Doesn't hurt anything, and if it does turn out to be some kind of new discoverability boon, then you're already in and you're early to the market. Good way to go about it. I've been seeing these for a long time. I haven't been using them because I saw no real benefit. I still don't see a benefit, but I'll start adding them to my videos, and maybe there will be a benefit in the future. That's legitimately it for the news. There's nothing else. The only other news is, hey, Bandrew was right. Bandrew said that world leaders would be freaked out and say, oh no, Twitter shouldn't be doing this. Facebook and YouTube shouldn't have this power. Oh my gosh. And guess what? They all did. What a shocker. Who could have seen this coming? Government officials do not like massive corporations having the power over their ability to speak directly to their constituents. What a shocker. That is it for the news. Now let's talk about what I've been testing, and you are listening to it right now. I am not on the vaunted, is that even a proper term? The amazing U67. I am not on the U67. I am on a microphone made by its owner, the U67 owner. Neumann is owned by Sennheiser, and I am on the Sennheiser MD435, a new cardioid dynamic from Sennheiser. Full disclosure, this was sent to me by Sennheiser so I could review it on Podcastage. I already have my opinion made up about it. I'm not sharing that here. I am going to have a full review coming out on Tuesday. I just wanted to throw it on and do a one-off podcast with it because I know a lot of folks absolutely swear by and love the Sennheiser E835 and 935 and 845, 945, and I wanted to throw on the new higher tier version of those. I think it's a different model or different family of products. It's not the E Evolution, I think the E stands for. This is the MD, which I don't know what that stands for. But made in Germany, that's great. And this is what you've been listening to. If you want to hear me compare it to the E835, 935, whichever ones I have, I will be doing that in the review. There you go. That's what you're listening to on this episode. Let's jump to my favorite part of the show, the Ask Bandrew segment. We're not even doing what you had to say. We'll do that next week. About this week's, we'll do whatever. I don't know what's happening anymore. Ask Bandrew. Welcome back to the Ask Bandrew segment. If you have any questions, you can head over to askbandrew.com. There are instructions on how to send in a text-based email, send in an audio question, or send in a video question. I do love me a good audio and video question because then my stupid idiot person brain does not have to read. I do not have to think. All I have to do is listen and watch you and listen to how you sound. And that's amazing. That's much better for everybody. Let's go to the first email, and it comes from Visual. They say, "Hi, Bandrew. Once again, your favorite Kiwi Indian listener asking a question. This one, if more for your time and setup. How hard is it to get your microphone or gear out for a question? Let's say someone asks a question about a microphone or an interface or something like that. You have so much audio gear that it must be really hard to get it out. And how much time would it take as well? Where do you store all the gear? Thanks again." Visual, thank you very much for the email, and that is a great question. In the past, this used to take me a significantly longer time because I did not have a document telling me where I am storing everything. I am sure many people have noticed that on a lot of my gear, I now have barcodes. That's because I have cataloged everything that I have. I have my other bedroom, my hall, there's gear everywhere. All the closets, all the rooms, audio gear is stacked up, and I have a document. I have what is it called? An inventory of everything that I own, exactly where it is, and the barcode on it. The barcode isn't helpful when I'm looking for stuff. It just made me feel cool when I was cataloging everything, and I have done that, and it makes it much easier to find this stuff. So as far as how long it takes to pull out the gear, it will take 5-10 minutes maybe. And as far as doing the actual test, like a test that I'm going to do a little bit later in this episode, another 10, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how complex it is, how long it takes to set up multiple microphones, get the recordings done properly, and then edit and sync up everything. It could take an hour to do all of it. Not the most time-intensive thing, but when I get 4 or 5 of those questions in a single episode, it gets quite daunting. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed he's done a lot fewer of these Ask Bandrews where he does a lot of those tests. It's because sometimes I like to have a little bit of downtime. I want to just sit down in front of a camera, hit record, and not have to spend 6 hours before I actually start recording to do a bunch of tests. That's why. Thank you very much for the email question. Why couldn't I think of the term email question? I appreciate you, Visual. I hope you have an amazing day. And let's jump to the next submission, which is a video submission from Luke, from the Luke Who's Talking podcast. Take it away, Luke. Yay.
Hello there. Hello, Mr. Bandrew. I have a question for you. What a shocker. So you're a huge fan. You're a big advocate of having a website. Have your own website, everybody. So I've been thinking maybe I should have my own website. Now, my question is to you, where exactly should I start with that? You know, when it comes to hosting and all that jazz, you know, do you have any areas where I could maybe start looking at? Could you, not recommend, but, suggest maybe some hosts or some services I could look into, to get that website up on the internet? Now, because of course I have the podcast, the stream, and the video stuff. I probably need one place where I can have those 3 sort of brands happening. If you have any suggestions, any ideas, any thoughts, any help, any assistance as to where I can go to sort of look at and get some ideas as to how I can put that together, and of course, maybe some loose costings, that'd be great. And also, another question is the dog over there barking. Also, another question is, we know who shot the sheriff, but Do we actually know who shot the deputy? Don't know. Anyway, thanks, Bandrew.
Lukey. Yes, I am a huge advocate for having your own website. Little bit of a disclosure here. This email was sent in August. What a perfect timing to have this question on the podcast, because the last episode, I was screaming at people about having their own website. Perfect timing, Luke. It just took me 5 months to get to it, but here we are. Yes, I am a big advocate for having your own website. As far as hosts and web design and all of that, there is a lot that needs to be considered, but I am boiling it down to 3 questions. First, how much money do you want to put into it? Second, how much time are you willing to put into your website? And third, what kind of protections do you want? Also, you ask about a general pricing idea for running your own website. I would venture a guess, an average, to be about $10 to $20 a month, or maybe $200 a year. There are a couple of options that I'll walk you through. The first option is going to be the cheapest, but the most time-consuming. First, you need your domain, lukewho'stalking.com, whatever it may be. That will be between $5 and $20 a year. You could go with Namecheap, Google domains. You also will need to have some hosting. There is some that goes for $2 to $10 a month as well. So it's starting to add up, you can see here. And that will depend on how much data you're uploading to the hosting. You also need to take into account the bandwidth for the hosting as well, because I know some folks have bought hosting space. They have tried to host their podcast themselves, and then they have gotten yelled at by their actual host because the host does not have bandwidth for that. Thinking about it, that actually happened to me in 2013. With my first podcast, I tried uploading it to some random hosting that I had, and they said, no, stop it. You can't do that. I completely forgot about that. Once you have the hosting, the domain, you will need to have some kind of back-end CMS, content management system. WordPress is the most popular. That seems to take quite a bit of time to get set up, and it can be a bit confusing with a bunch of plugins. Also, with increasing numbers of plugins that you use on your WordPress site, that increases the possibility of a vulnerability on your website, of your website being hacked, being taken down, any of that stuff. So it adds a little bit added complexity or security concerns there. Also, I would say that this does offer you some of the best security in terms of ensuring your site can't be taken down. Yes, you are still utilizing a bunch of other people's services, but it's going to be more difficult for somebody as opposed to somebody saying, hey, take down Luke's Facebook page. They'd have to go through multiple companies. Okay, take down his DNS, take down his hosting, take down his WordPress. They'd have to go through a bunch of channels to cancel you. I know you're not controversial, but I'm pointing this out for anybody who might be. You still do have some exposure here. The second option is going to be the most expensive, maybe the least time-consuming, but also the most upstart costs. You're going to need to hire someone to do everything for you, design the website, set up all the hosting, all of that, buy your own servers, set up the infrastructure to actually serve your content. You will still have to go through a DNS, a domain name service, I think that's what it stands for, to get your domain. And that's one area of vulnerability that I think everybody really has. And a while back, for a pricing idea, this was not including any servers. I was speaking to somebody that I know who does web design, and I wanted a quote for a fairly basic CMS from scratch so that I could run the Podcastage website, and they quoted me a ballpark of around $5,000. A lot more expensive than the option that I ended up going with, which is just a stock website hosting thing. So it can get very expensive very quickly with the second option. $5,000 for the web designer doesn't include hosting, doesn't include servers, doesn't include infrastructure, doesn't include upkeep, doesn't include any of those things. but I would say this is the most secure option. If you are at all concerned about being taken down, this is what places like Gab have done. I believe InfoWars has had to do something like this where they run their own servers, everything, and it's quite expensive. You can see why they sell boner pills or whatever the hell InfoWars sells. The super male vitality, because they got to pay for them server costs. And the third option is the middle most expensive, but in my opinion, the easiest to deal with. That is to use one of those pre-made website maker apps like Squarespace or Wix. These go for about $200 a year. It does have limitations. It is quite vulnerable. If somebody wanted to cancel you, they could just contact the host, the website maker thing, and say, take this person down. They're terrible. So you have vulnerability there. But you don't have to worry about the server space, the hosting space, the bandwidth, any of that. You don't need to worry about plugins becoming vulnerable. They handle all of that on the back end. Where it does fall short, you have limitations on what you are able to upload. If I wanted to host video on my website, I wouldn't be able to do that through the service that I'm using. It does allow me to upload M4As and MP3s, but I can't upload lossless WAV files. That's a bummer. I have file limit sizes at 25 megabytes, I believe. There are limitations, but as a whole, if you're trying to avoid spending all your time running a website with all of the back-end technology or paying somebody a bunch of money to do it for you, I think it is the easiest and best option. A lot of these places do offer a free tier to get started and see if you like it. Then, if you end up liking it, you can upgrade and pay for it, or you can say, screw this, and then take the website down. That's probably the best option for you. Luke, I hope that helped you. I added a little bit of extra information in there about the vulnerability of each of these options because current times, be scared, be very afraid about being deplatformed because, as I have said, what you are saying today may not be controversial, but what you're saying today may be controversial tomorrow. You can quote me on that one. Let's jump to the next. Oh, by the way, if I remember, I will link Luke's podcast in the description. Next video submission comes from the Eldest Bro. Take it away, Eldest Boy.
Hey guys, it is the Eldest Bro, and I have some really good news for all the YouTube creators. Let's say you are looking for some music for your video, but with the way things have been going lately with studios cracking down on the copyright claims, it is increasingly difficult to find some high quality music you can use in your videos. You've looked at Storyblocks, but it's too expensive and you can't afford the monthly subscription. Well, on the YouTube Studio page, on the home screen on the left side at the very bottom, there is a button labeled Audio Library. And in there are thousands upon thousands of super high quality, copyright-free music that you can use in your YouTube videos. This music is free for you to use as long as you keep it on YouTube. You don't have to worry about any kind of monetization issues. It is just there for you to use. So please spread the word because we need this high quality content for everybody. Hopefully you guys find this super helpful. Thanks.
Eldest, thank you very much. That is an excellent, excellent suggestion. I have actually been using this for quite some time. I don't have much need for music in the videos that I make, but there have been a few occasions where I have wanted to add some spooky music for a skit in my podcastage channel. And I will go to this music library if I don't have one in my Final Cut Pro library. And there is one composer that I constantly go to, and it's one composer who introduced me to this audio library. His name is Heinbach, Hainbach. He's an amazing, I think he's German, amazing composer and electronic artist, loves recording to tape, and I have watched his channel for a while, and I saw him make a video about the process of recording a soundtrack for a made-up horror film for the YouTube sound library. If you look at the skits that I have, I believe the Earthworks SR314, the whole 1984 introduction, the underlying music from that was from Heinbach. And I absolutely love his stuff. Really a great service that YouTube is offering. And if you're interested in that, check that out. Super, super awesome, Eldest. Thank you for sharing. Again, sorry it took me 5 months to get to your email. Next, we have an email from Justin. Justin, take away. Take it away. Take away your voice emission, but leave it at the same time so other people can hear it.
Hi, Bandrew. I had a question about your voiceover technique. The reason I'm asking about it is because I watched some of your old podcastage reviews that you did several years ago, and I've noticed that you speak a lot differently now. So I was wondering, have you taken like some lessons with anybody, like a coach or a speech therapist? It doesn't sound like it's just a difference in gear to me. It sounds like you just speak into the microphone differently now. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what you did. Thanks.
Justin, thank you very much. That is a great, great question. I have not taken any lessons or worked with a speech therapist, but I have changed the way that I speak dramatically. In my older videos, I am sure you're able to hear it. I sound much more tense, and in my speaking tone, you can hear it in my throat, that it's so much tighter, and I'm almost shouting the entire time. And this was subconscious. This was not something I intended to do. It was because I was watching a lot of very high energy YouTubers, and that is the content that captured my attention, and I unintentionally emulated it, and it led to my voice getting very, very strained, very tense, and over long form podcasts, my voice would start to go by the end of the episode, which is not good. I should be able to speak for 30 minutes without my voice, just without losing my voice. And I have slowly learned how to properly speak without having that issue. I don't know if you can hear it. I can definitely hear it. My throat sounds much more open and less, hey guys, oh my God, hey. I know I just sound like a complete dickhead there, but that's how I think I sound in my earlier videos. I'm sure some people agree with me. I'm sure some people think I still sound like that. Hey, you may not be wrong. What I have contributed this or determined there are a few things that will throw me right back into this habit. The main thing is not being able to hear myself in my headphones. The first solution is don't wear headphones. Problem solved. You don't try to sound a certain way if you can't hear yourself. You just talk like you talk. The other option is just turn up your headphones so you can actually hear what you're saying. So if I have monitoring too low and I throw on a quieter microphone like the 7B and I don't adjust how much I'm monitoring myself, I will frequently find myself screaming into the microphone and falling back into those old habits of getting very tense and, hey guys, what's up? Oh my God, doing that. And that is not good. So I have not taken any lessons. I have not done any kind of speech therapy. Perhaps I should, but I have attempted I've worked very hard on trying to ensure that my voice does not become too tense, that I don't destroy my voice. And over 6 years, I've finally gotten to the point where I think that I am able to do that. Some people say I sound depressed because I don't scream into the microphone anymore. I get it. That's what people started and they were used to hearing me sound like that. I get it. I don't sound high energy anymore, but I'm not depressed. I just want to ensure that I'm able to yell at people for decades to come. And if I am screaming intense 24 hours a day while I'm recording, my voice I'll go the way of Alex Jones, to bring up Alex Jones again, where he sounds like this. And he's got that really raspy voice and he's developed this gnarly cough. Yeah, I don't want to do that. There you go, Justin. Hopefully that answered your question. Thank you very much for it. We have one more email which did not copy to my notes from computer to computer. So let me go ahead and open this up and I will read it to you. This email comes from Laerion. They say, could you show me the noise rejection between a short shotgun, a super hypercardioid, and a lav in a noisy, untreated room while being out of sight of a webcam? I realized I did a test. Not going to help him at all. I apologize. I tried to do it. I tried to help you, but I completely screwed up. He goes on, or she goes on. I've been window shopping on a $200 or less budget, and one of the problems I have is just I don't know which type of microphone will best suit my needs. Those needs are noise rejection. I have kids screaming in the adjacent room, and my wife is blasting the TV, stays out of the way, and up over my monitor. Wife is always asking me to get up and do something, so I need to minimize how much effort it takes to get out of position or back into position. Having the mic boomed over my PC monitor would be great here. 3, does not block my view. I want to see what's on my screen, so I need to be maybe a foot above my mouth pointing down. I'm indoors and it's an untreated room. I just wish I could have all 3 types of mics, lav, super cardioid boom mic, and short shotgun, and test which one works best 12 to 18 inches distance with some noise in the background. Plenty of vids. Sound demo these mics at a distance, but they often don't have loud noise to accompany that distance. So I'm asking, could you simulate a noisy room, boom each one from a foot and a half away, and test all 3 out, or just tell me which one you think would be best here? Laerion, thank you very much for the email. I pulled out a couple of microphones and I did a test for you in my studio, not in an untreated room. And yeah, thinking about it, I'm not going to set up a speaker system and blast noise out of the speakers in a separate room to do the test. This is as good as I could do without spending an exorbitant amount of time running the test for you. Hopefully this does provide you with some context and answers your question, even though this was sent the 17th of August. You probably already have your microphone by now. I apologize for taking so long, but here is the test that you asked for, or mostly that you asked for. Okay, this probably is not going to be the most accurate test for you, but it's the best that I can do. I have some traffic noise playing on the speakers off to the side of my desk, the monitors. I have a Neumann KH185, which is a hypercardioid small diaphragm condenser. I have a Sennheiser MD435, both about a foot and a half away from my mouth. And then I have some random lav mic, I think it's a SpeedLink something, on my chest. And I am talking, and I will be switching back and forth between all of these so you can hear which one does the best at rejecting the traffic noise. And the traffic noise is at about a 45-degree angle from the microphones on the stands and directly in front of me, so I guess I'll just keep talking and switch back and forth between the microphones. For those who are listening only to the audio, you will hear a change in the sound, and the order will be KH185, the small diaphragm condenser, then the Sennheiser MKH416, and then the lavalier microphone. So start with... I wasn't expecting a car crash in this royalty-free traffic noise. Absolute insanity. Regardless, that's the order. Small diaphragm condenser, short shotgun, lav mic. Small diaphragm condenser, short shotgun, lavalier microphone. That's the order that I will have been switching in between all of the microphones, so you can get an idea which one does the best at rejecting the background noise. Hopefully that answered the question, because I can't be bothered to set up a speaker system outside of the room to emulate a family being noisy, and then a speaker system outside. I can't be bothered to do all that. This is as good as it's gonna get. Okay, there you go. Stop revving your engine now. Alrighty, hopefully that helped you out, and I think that is actually going to wrap up for today. That is it for this episode. Again, Sennheiser MD435, and I will be doing a review of this. I've been having so much fun on the Bandrew Scott YouTube channel. I have been recording Grimm's Fairy Tales using a bunch of different microphones because I had a request maybe a year ago to do some more long-form spoken word stuff on some of the microphones that I review so that people can hear if they become grating or difficult to listen to over long periods of time. The first 2 or 3 episodes, I did processing on the microphones. I have changed that, and now I am just recording, and all I'm doing is in Auphonic, I am leveling to -18 LUFS, and I think I'm doing background noise rejection or removal. I usually never do that, but just for simplicity's sake, just to make it easy, I just throw that on and then sync up the audio video, put the text on the screen, and then go. And I've been having a blast doing that. I've been on a small diaphragm condenser kit over there. Eldest bro, sorry, it's not the what is it? Samson C02s. Those are still in the box. Not gonna do them. And go check it out if that's at all interesting to you. All right. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's Sunday right now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next Sunday. I will talk at you. And I love you so gosh darn much. You're an amazing human being. And what an amazing start for our president. What an amazing start. Invading Syria day 1. Good on ya. Right back into the saddle. Political stuff at the end of the show. How classy. All right. I will just piss everybody off. Why not? Because I enjoy it so much. I will talk to you all next week. I love you. Bye.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.